Hey, this is Notser. We're in the Tier 10 Japanese battleship, Yamato. She has 9 460mm guns, 30 secondary guns, 81 AA defense rating, a surface detect of 13.5 kilometers, top speed 27 knots, total health 97,200. For my modules, reduce crit chance on main battery, increase main battery accuracy, rate of fire, reduce the chance of flood and fire, faster rate of shift, concealment. For my commander, situation awareness, basic survivability, faster turret traverse, superintendent, advanced firing training, and concealment again. We are on the map the Atlantic, and I see an enemy Des Moines. This is one of the first games in the Yamato where I've been using that aiming technique that I've described. We're about 12 seconds out. It's a cruiser. They move about 33 knots in the water. So you end up going about 18 ticks. And honestly, I think I let them a little bit too much. Just a hair. I underestimated the speed loss in the turn for the ship. So we got pretty close though for a 20-kilometer shot. We will employ this the rest of the match, and you will see the great power that is the Yamato. Enemy Moskva is pretty broadside, a good distance away, 8 seconds, so we are targeting 12, maybe 13, give or take, and we let it fly. We are very accurate, 6,000 points of damage, unfortunately, for that accuracy. We didn't get anything to Citadel. We honestly probably hit a lot of superstructure. That's why the damage was so low for 5 shells making contact, but he's remaining broadside for whatever reason. So I'm very excited for the opportunity to Citadel him again. And every shot with the Yamato, you feel like, oh, he's just going to blow up. We let it fly, and one Citadel, we do 16,000 points of damage to him. But only one Citadel, perfectly broadside, tier 10 Soviet cruiser. Come on! Friendly Fletcher sends out torpedoes, and he's probably going to be successful. For whatever reason, the Moskva was slowing down. Maybe wanted to hide behind the island. We have a North Carolina. How dare you fire on this battleship? Oh, he took a torpedo. He's trying to heal, but he is still dying to a dot. So eventually, unless he can put the dot out, he's going to die. Notice my team. I have a fleet of escorts. I've got 2 cruisers, a battleship, a destroyer. This is ideal protection for my ship. So I try and range in the North Carolina, predict the turn. The Moskva, he's going to die to the cruisers. There's no reason to waste my shots on a target. Yeah, there's no reason to waste shots on a target that low. And we only get 2 shells to disperse into the North Carolina for 6k though. They return fire with HE for whatever reason. Someone hit me with HE. That's very odd. Maybe they felt like, he's going to be bow on. We all know how the Yamatos work. They just like to stay bow on, use their over-penetrating shell, and just annihilate you no matter what angle you have. And I'm not one of those players. I like to look for a lot of kills. And this enemy Iowa showing a perfect broadside, and we raise it just a little bit too much. We do get 13,000 points of damage, but imagine if we were just half a hull line down. We would have hit the water line. We would have probably blown him up. A significant amount of those shells dispersed just where I wanted them. However, it was just a little bit too tall. I noticed that there's an enemy, Izumo. This is the tier 9 Japanese battleship, and he's about to be a perfect broadside, but too many ships that have a perfect broadside to mine. So I decide, okay. Iowa's probably the bigger threat to my fleet. You gotta pay it forward. You gotta protect your fleet. These guys are the reason why I can be successful. They're protecting me from torpedoes, aircraft, other battleships. It's just great. It empowers you, and we only get 1 shell for 1,400 points of damage? Really? I also noticed this Izumo is engaged with my ship. I use my back gun against him, and it takes a while to range him in. You have to consider the time to target, and the time to target is different for every ship. Our back gun does okay damage. Our front gun also does okay damage. Together, it's about 13,000. It looks like he's going to burn down, though, before I get a chance to fire. Yeah, not worth my time. I should probably go after that enemy Iowa, but the enemy Yamato fires on our ship, does very little damage. It's a long-range shot, though. It's not easy. I'll grant you that, but this Iowa, this is beyond easy. Showing a perfect broadside to a enemy battleship, I should easily kill this guy. And I'm just hoping that the friendlies leave enough health. Yes! We get a citadel, we take him out, 11,000 points of damage. But anytime you see a ship like that, aren't you just hoping, alright team, don't touch him. Don't take a single point off of his health because I'm going to completely blow him up. We catch sight of the enemy aircraft carrier, and we're going to lead him quite reasonably. Japanese carriers are pretty fast, and we're able to fire just before he disappears, hoping that it'll hit. Have no confirmation, have no information how much it's actually going to do. We're just going to see ribbons. And this enemy Des Moines is pretty close as well. Ooh, 2 citadels and 2 shells made contact. Ooh, that's a good amount of damage. I wish I could have seen those numbers. I know it's a lot. I just don't know how much exactly. But we can't worry about him. He's not within our scope of engagement anymore. We need a friendly aircraft or a friendly destroyer to scout him out. And I was hoping, come on, Des Moines, show your side. Show your beautiful side. But he never ends up wanting to do that. So we fire on a ship. It looked like he turned immediately when he saw us fire. That might just be a coincidence. But we do pretty good damage, I would say, without a citadel. 13,000 points of damage. And of course, he's angling to a perfect broadside because he sees the torpedoes. He's trying to outrun them, find a gap, and he's going to take a torpedo. Nope, never mind. I think a battleship was able to take him out. Yeah, good job. Good job, team. It's so fantastic to have the support staff to protect you from whatever. You can freely aim and shoot. And we catch sight of an enemy destroyer, Kagero. He's right behind the carcass of the enemy Des Moines, and I'm going to try and kill him before he disappears in the smoke. We let out a shot, and it's accurate and good. We didn't really need to switch to AG. AP's plenty. AP does a lot of damage, even when it overpins extreme amounts with 460 millimeters worth of shell size. That's just a massive shell. The friendly Fletcher, he's taken 1. Can he avoid the other torpedo attack? I really hope he does. I think there was only... Was that 2? Was that 2 torpedoes? I think he still has 2 aircraft that have their torpedoes. And we finally catch sight of the enemy aircraft carrier. And boy, did he take a lot of damage. Now, I try and lead him, but he is angled a little bit. And I think I let him a little bit too much. Anytime they're moving away or coming towards you at an angle, you have to consider some sort of division by which they are moving away or towards for the lead that you give the target. And it's obviously not quick enough that you could figure it out. You got to go more on feel at that point because you don't want to spend all day lining up a shot. Now, I don't need to spend all day lining up a shot against this enemy Yamato. He's showing a perfect broadside. He is 19 kilometers away, but we still fire, and I think I let him again. I'm just overestimating the speed that these ships are moving at. It's right on target if I just bring it back a couple notches. So the rate of fire is so extreme though on this ship that you can't afford to make bad shots. You throw enough lead out there, it's gonna stick, and he's gonna have to deal with torpedoes. So it's going to cause him to slow down, and it looks like his propulsion is knocked out, so we lead him just a touch more than the center mass, and it helps us out greatly. We hit him for 16,000. No citadel, but 16,000's pretty good. He's trying to heal. I think he's put out the flood that inevitably was caused. Yeah, of course, because the propulsion, that's a clear identifier of damage control being used. So yeah. Don't even question it, Notser. Okay, whoa, sorry, man. As he's turning away, we're going to try and hit him again. Now, some of you might say, why don't you go after the North Carolina? I've got a lot of friends that are going after the North Carolina. I feel like my gun is more useful facing towards B in that area. I can bring all 3 guns to bear versus the 2 that would be against the North Carolina. The cruisers, the destroyers. They're much better suited to go after a target that's moving away. And honestly, I was just trying to get the enemy battleship, Yamato, dead before the game ends, and they finally finish off the North Carolina. Unfortunately, they finish off a friendly cruiser, and the enemy battleship, he hit the island. But we let him a little bit too much because of it. I thought he would just freely move, but we still got 9,500 points of damage, which, considering was only 3 shells, I'll take that. So there's 2 targets here. We've got the battleship, and we've got the cruiser, the Ibuki. The Ibuki has an island, though, in his way, but he would be perfectly broad if he left the island. So every now and then I take a quick check, because I think this guy's going to get away. Yeah, he's just barely going to fit behind the island without me having the chance to finish him off. But every time I'm taking a quick check at the Ibuki. And if I was in a ship with torpedoes, I would select the torpedo just to see where the target is leaning. It's a little bit of a trick. It gives you extra information that you wouldn't normally gather. It can tell you if a target is in full reverse, or if they're going to speed up to a significant point around an island which you couldn't perceive with your main battery. And I was just looking for a cheeky shot. That would be a really cheeky shot if we could fit it in there. And oh, he has a sixth sense. He just knows. He wants to be hidden behind an island. But the fleet's doing great. Some of our guys have great angle against him, but I don't have great angling. And I was like, come on, battleship. There's nobody over here that can fire on you. You're completely safe. Just leave the safety of your island, please. And I think he is. I think he's actually going to leave it. So we just set up a shot. Doesn't look like he's moving at full speed. The enemy Ibuki is taken out by the friendlies. He tried to break out. Didn't work out. We finish him. We got a Citadel that did absolutely nothing because he only had like 4,300 hit points left at that point. But we got 3 kills. 420,000 credits earned, yeah. 5 Citadels, 2,201 base XP. We did around 167,000 points of damage. Oh, just glorious. In only 13 minutes and 30 seconds. That aiming technique really has helped me with these high-tier battleships. It's much easier to aim at extreme ranges and hit. I hope you enjoyed seeing the Yamato. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you next time.